surrounding us are truly spectacular. They're a piece of tranquility and calm, a place to go to gather in peace and to reflect on all that life brings us, the good, the bad, the happy, the sad. Over the last 48 hours, many of us have reflected on the extraordinary life lived by an extraordinary woman and monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, who, as the Queen of Canada, was the only monarch that 87% of Canadians knew until 2 days ago. At the age of 21, she pledged her life, whether it be long or short, to service and duty. At age 25, she became queen. 2 days ago, at the age of 96, after an unprecedented, unparalleled, and impactful reign of 70 years, and 2 days after asking the 15th Prime Minister of Britain to form a government, she died. It truly is the end of an era. There is definitely some sad here today. But when we, at the Friends of the Public Gardens and the Monarchist League, started planning for this event last December, and right up to the very moment on Thursday afternoon when we heard the news, this was to be a good, happy, joyous celebration of an incredible milestone in the reign of a beloved monarch. In our minds, we knew she was 96, but in our hearts, we thought she'd be with us forever. But that, we know, is not the way life goes. She has passed, but she has left us a lasting, extraordinary legacy. As she once said, grief is the price we pay for love. We certainly are feeling both grief and love here today, and we will in the days to come. But we can and we will move on. That is what succession is all about. With her unfailing dedication to duty and service, the Queen would expect us to do no less, and of course to be fully supportive of the reign of her eldest son, who as King Charles III will succeed her and has succeeded her, allowing the monarchy to continue on just as it has for many hundreds of years. We can and we absolutely will look forward, and we will look towards the future with optimism as well, but we can also look back and know that we will never forget the impact she has had, not only on each one of us here, but on the world. And we can and we should take time today to do exactly what we had planned to on this day almost a year ago. And that is to commemorate her reign and her Platinum Jubilee. We wanted to add to her Queen's Green Canopy by planting 2 trees. We wanted to place a dedicated garden bench in this beautiful place to bring peace to people and to encourage quiet reflection. We wanted to leave things here in honor of her life and her legacy that will remain here long after she and we have gone. And most importantly, in the end, we also wanted, quite simply, to say, just as Paddington Bear said to her in June of this year at their Platinum Jubilee tea, and then repeated in a tweet this past Thursday, "Thank you, ma'am, for everything." We still want to say that, and that's why we're here today. We are so fortunate that their honors are able to join us, and here's how the next 45 or so minutes will go. First, we do have a few speeches, and then we will invite His Honor to unveil the 2022 Platinum Jubilee Garden Bench, which is right there, and then dedicate the site where 2 Platinum Jubilee trees will be planted when planting conditions are optimal. Lastly, we will ask their honors to each cut a Jubilee cake at the tent, which is behind you, and afterwards we will all gather for a reception.
I had the pleasure of meeting Queen Elizabeth back in 2019 at her royal garden party at Buckingham Palace. I had the pleasure of chatting with her for about 4 minutes, and during that conversation we talked about Canada and what I was doing for work. So it was a very conversational moment. She was very gracious, and she was very witty, and she was very kind to me and my twin sister. So I thought it was important to kind of come out and show my sympathy and, support for the royal family as the days to come.
Your Honours, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We gather today to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee and to remember the historic reign of Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, and the woman herself. She was the longest reigning sovereign in modern Canadian history, the only monarch most Canadians have ever known, and the first to celebrate a Platinum Jubilee. The Jubilee in today's commemoration pays tribute to an individual who served for 7 decades, exemplifying in the process steadfastness, duty, kindness, and hope, and whose life was defined by service. Indeed, she expressed gratitude for the many demonstrations of loyalty and support that she received over this last year, saying, "I remain committed to serving you to the best of my ability." A promise she kept. She came to know this realm very well indeed, evidencing a particular devotion to and care for the same, beyond simply carrying the title of Queen. She had a deep love and, to quote another, an abiding enthusiasm for the future and vigor of her largest realm. Her reign and example have been a gift, a source of refreshment for our national life. And in recognition of these realities, and in continuity with communities large and small throughout the land, we gather today to remember and to dedicate this bench just behind us. In partnership with the Friends of the Public Gardens and HRM's Gifts for Parks program, our branch of the Monarchist League of Canada has purchased a bench and a tree, about which my colleague will speak presently. This program allows individuals and groups to improve the social fabric of our city by donating a sum of money for a bench or for a tree. This bench will serve as a lasting commemoration and a place of rest and refreshment down the generations. A fitting tribute to a long-serving sovereign whom I have often referred to as Elizabeth the Steadfast, Elizabeth the Great, and now Elizabeth the Beloved. Thank you.
Your Honours, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Friends of the Public Gardens, welcome to Halifax's iconic natural and national treasure, the only Victorian garden in North America. It is just 4 years ago, plus one day, September the 9th, 2018, and in your presence, that we proclaimed the walkway, which goes from alley to alley, in the monarch's name. Therefore, the Friends of Public Gardens are delighted to partner again with the Monarchist League, Halifax and Southwest Nova Scotia branch, on this auspicious day. We're gathered here to recognize the wish of Her Royal Highness Elizabeth II to plant a tree for the Jubilee. Under the auspices of the Green Canopy program, which she designed to build sustainability and extend the tree cover throughout the Commonwealth. Well-planted trees, such as we have here in the Halifax Public Gardens, can cool the temperature in an urban setting from 2 to 8 degrees, while each tree absorbs 150 kilograms of carbon dioxide per year. The Green Canopy campaign is noted in today's program with a website address in case you would like to care or you care to learn more about it and its extensiveness. The Victorian planted trees in the garden as designed so that each tree significantly stands out to be celebrated and appreciated. Many were planted in the latter 1800s and stand today proud and strong. We hope to enhance proud and strong, sorry. And the tree we dedicate as our Platinum Jubilee. We hope to enhance this Jubilee tree with a green canopy plaque to grace and recognize its presence. Thank you.
Bonjour. Good morning. Let me begin with our deep thanks to the Mi'kmaq. We are gathered here and we are grateful. Thank you for being here this morning. It's an honor to say a few words on behalf of Halifax Regional Municipality and Mayor Mike Savage. It's a total honor for me to speak here today during a truly sad time since the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Flags have been lowered all across the country, and Canadians around the world are mourning loss of the Queen of Canada. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II ascended to the throne in February 1952. Such a long legacy. She was crowned more than a year later, in June 1953. And in 2007, the Queen surpassed her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, to become the longest living monarch and the longest reigning British monarch in all of history. In the Canadian context, she is the longest reigning sovereign in Canada's modern era. And many of us cannot remember there ever being any other monarch. The Queen has long had a special place in the heart for Canada, having visited our country on more occasions than any other over her reign, and often referring to Canada as her second home. The dedication of this bench and tree recognizing the reign of 70 years in Halifax Public Gardens, a much-loved public place filled with history, is so fitting. This ceremony could not have happened without the Monarch League of Canada, who have worked hard to bring this idea to fruition and continue to promote the education and nonpartisan defense of the Canadian Crown. Thank you for all of the work that you have done in making this a reality here today. Now, a young princess once pledged, "I declare before you that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to service and the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong." The Queen never strayed from her word. Through this work and service, her legacy lives in the hearts and minds of many all across the world. So on behalf of Halifax Regional Municipality, let us honor the Queen's service and commitment to our country and to our people. And our thoughts are with her family and all of those who have been affected by this news. And may God save the King. Thank you.
Your honors, fellow guests, it is my deep honor to be here today in the provincial riding of Halifax Citadel Sable Island in unceded Mi'kmaq. I'm so glad to have this time to gather today in memorial and to honor Her Majesty. And I can't think of a more perfect place or time to do this. I think we've all known and heard so much of the Queen's love for the outdoors and for nature and the natural world. And so to gather under this beautiful September sun in her honor is a beautiful tribute. I've also heard a lot of people reflecting on the collective support and comfort that she provided over the years at particular points of difficulty in our collective existence, our collective conscience, most recently with the COVID-19 pandemic. And so as well, I really welcome this opportunity to be together in collective reflection on the legacy of Her Majesty. And I thank the organizers so much for having the foresight to think about the legacy of Her Majesty and then to be able to bring us together this weekend. Generations will be able to come here today to remember Her Majesty for decades to come. When I became an MLA a little over a year ago, I swore allegiance to Her Majesty and to her heirs and successors. And so I will end by saying, God save the King.
Your Honors, MLA Lachance, Deputy Mayor Lovelace, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, vos honneurs, membres de l'Assemblée législative Lachance, Deputy Mayor Lovelace, distinguished invités, bonjour. I too would like to acknowledge that we are here in Chibouctouc, in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I am pleased to be here as a representative of the Department of Canadian Heritage during this reflective event in honor of the Platinum Jubilee of Her Majesty, the late Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada. C'est une période de grande tristesse pour nous tous, une période de deuil au Canada, dans le Commonwealth et dans le monde entier, pour la perte de notre reine bien-aimée. This is a period of great sadness for us all, a period of mourning in Canada, the Commonwealth, and all around the world at the loss of our beloved Queen. I know I speak for all gathered here today when I express my deepest sympathies to the royal family. We all feel such a deep sense of loss these past 2 days, and we certainly will in the days to come. I also add my best wishes to our new King, Charles III, at the start of his reign as the King of Canada. The Department of Canadian Heritage was pleased to see the people of Nova Scotia show such honor and dedication in recent months as people gathered to mark the Platinum Jubilee of our late Queen. 19 commemorative projects took place here in Nova Scotia, with today's event being among them. Le ministère du Patrimoine canadien a été heureux de voir la population de la Nouvelle-Écosse faire preuve d'un tel honneur et d'un tel dévouement au cours des derniers mois, alors que les gens se sont rassemblés pour marquer le jubilé de platine de notre reine. 19 projets commémoratifs ont eu lieu ici en Nouvelle-Écosse et l'événement d'aujourd'hui en fait partie. Now, perhaps more than ever, the bench that we will see unveiled shortly in these historic gardens, along with the Queen Elizabeth walkway, will long be a place for families to stop, rest, and reflect on Her Majesty's long and dedicated service. And I am also certain that the trees to be planted shortly will grow tall, strong, and beautiful, much like the tree planted by her father and mother, King George VI, and the Queen Mother back in 1939. I wish to congratulate the Monarchist League Halifax Southwest Nova Scotia branch, and also the Friends of the Public Gardens for this lasting initiative. Merci. Thank you.
Former Lieutenant Governor Francis, the Deputy Mayor Lovelace, Mr. Burton, Mr. Spardell, Mr. Brita, Mr. Chance, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen, and friends. Patsy and I are delighted to join you at Halifax Public Gardens to commemorate the Queen's service to all Nova Scotians and Canadians. As one of the finest examples of a Victorian garden in North America, it is hard to imagine a more appropriate setting for a permanent tribute to Her Majesty's life and historic 70-year reign. Patsy et moi sommes ravis de nous joindre à vous dans le jardin public d'Halifax pour célébrer le jubilé des platines de la reine, puisqu'il s'agit de l'un des plus beaux exemples de jardin victorien en Amérique du Nord. Il est difficile d'imaginer un endroit plus approprié pour un hommage permanent au règne historique de 70 ans de Sa Majesté. On Thursday, Her Majesty the Queen passed away peacefully at Balmoral Castle. While our hearts are filled with sorrow, we also reflect on her remarkable legacy that was characterized by a strong sense of warmth, kindness, and duty to countless people around the world. On February the 6th, 1952, Canada was proud to proclaim the then Princess Elizabeth as Queen of Canada and head of the Commonwealth. Over the next 70 years, Her Majesty demonstrated an unfailing dedication to duty and service, that is unparalleled in our history. We gather in spirit with Canadians and members of the Commonwealth to recognize the Queen's many, many contributions. Through times of enormous social and political change, she remained an important figure, offering words of wisdom, comfort, and hope to many. As Patsy and I celebrate the Platinum Jubilee and gather with Nova Scotians to pay tribute to Her Majesty's significance to our nation, I reflect upon the meaning of commitment to one's community and country. I am also filled with admiration for Nova Scotians who have taken up the call to service and made significant and lasting contributions to the culture, the history, and the heritage of Nova Scotia. I extend my gratitude to the Monarchist League of Canada, Halifax and Southwest Nova Scotia branch for organizing a beautiful tribute to Her Majesty's dedicated service and ensuring that this important moment in our history will be remembered by all who visit the public gardens for years and years to come. I would also like to thank the Friends of the Public Gardens for maintaining this space and preserving its significant history. From the days of Joseph Howe in 1836 to the present day and his initial vision, the work of talented staff and volunteers have created a public sanctuary in the center of our city. Over the coming months, we will be inspired by the Queen's example and recommit ourselves to public service. Through compassion, perseverance, and dedication to our relationship, we continue to build a province where all can live in dignity and peace. Au cours des prochains mois, nous nous inspirons de l'exemple de la Reine et renouvellerons notre engagement envers le service par la coopération, la persévérance et le dévouement. À l'égard de nos rapports, nous continuerons de bâtir une province où toutes les personnes peuvent vivre dans la dignité et la paix. Thank you.
Now we get to walk around these beautiful gardens. First place we will be going is to the Jubilee Garden Bench right behind me. So as you are able, I would invite you to join us there, where we will invite His Honor to unveil the garden bench with Mr. Spidle. His Honor and Mr. Spidle to unveil our bench. And the plaque reads, in honor of the 2022 Platinum Jubilee of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It was printed before Thursday.
I think the dedication is important because it will, have a piece of the Queen here in Halifax for years to come, and people will be able to enjoy it and be able to reflect on her 70 years of service to people of the Commonwealth as well as the whole world.
So I hope you enjoyed that walk along the Queen Elizabeth II walkway, dedicated, as Ms. Cabrita said, in 2018. We passed on the way the Diamond Jubilee fountain of Queen Victoria. So this part of the gardens is becoming what I kind of like to think of as the Queen's Quadrant, but that's very informal. So we are, as anybody who is good with navigation knows, we are in the northwest corner of the public gardens. where a purple weeping fountain beech will be planted right here. This is in honor of the Platinum Jubilee, and as you are aware, the two colors of the whole year have been purple and platinum. This species was chosen because in the UK, I did not know this, but the beech is known as the queen of trees. And it is also known for its remarkable strength, resiliency, and longevity. The leaves are purplish red all year round, and they are at their most beautiful in the late spring and early summer, and that would encompass the birthday months of both Queen Elizabeth and her beloved husband Prince Philip, which were April and June respectively. The species was chosen by Mr. Sean Street, the horticultural supervisor, Halifax West Public Gardens, and when we approached him with this, he went into the research and he looked up everything he wanted to look at to pick the very best species he thought would suit. And I think he did a fantastic job, and I think and hope you will agree. Your Honor, please use the Vice Regal spade to touch the turf where the tree will be planted in a few weeks when temperatures are cooler, allowing the tree to be partially dormant and therefore at less risk of being damaged during the planting. So probably by the end of September that tree will be planted, but ceremonially today we ask you to just tap the turf where that tree will actually be planted.
You don't want to embarrass me.
No. Never.
Is that it?
Now, we don't have just one tree to plant because we really want to add to the Queen's Green canopy. So, a second tree will be planted in the Northwest Commons as well, the same area. Again, when planting conditions permit. This tree will either be another birch or an oak. The oak is known in the UK as the king of trees, and like the beech, it is known for its strength, resiliency, and longevity. The oak was originally chosen by us as a tribute to the Queen's husband, Prince Philip, his distinguished naval career, and his integral role in the Queen's reign for just over 69 years, as she said, her strength and her stay. Today, though, we know that this tree will grow and find its reach and its strength, just as the reign of our new monarch, King Charles III, will. So there's a couple of reasons why an oak is a thoughtful choice for that tree as well. Your Honor, I ask you to take a step just this way towards the North Commons